thought I'd lay off the self-called preachers this morning. So, no, I didn't feel like cursing the darkness this morning, so I just want to reminisce about how far God has brought me through this wearisome land down here below. I found this picture of the cotton mill. I was out there on a heister. They took a picture of it. And they had these little bitty cameras about the size of, you probably saw them, real easy to handle back then. About the size of your wallet. And that's what we took these with. But, so we took a lot of them. But most of them we didn't get developed with. That's just one we got developed. Yeah, that's me in my 20s. In my late 20s, I guess. Down at the cotton mill. And on this heister. And, let me get this one. You see it. Oh, excuse me. Okay. And there I am in one of those warehouses, one of them old warehouses, 100-year-old warehouses. You see how those bales are stacked like that? I was talking to one of the old timers. He said, used to we didn't have heisters. We'd unload them off these box cars. This box, the train came right over behind where I'm standing, and they'd get them off the train and put them in these warehouses. But they didn't have heisters. He said, I remember when they didn't have heisters. And they said they stacked them without heisters. Can you imagine that, brothers and sisters? They'd have a crew, and they knew how to flip the bales and throw them up on top. So I thought to myself, wow, these men, nobody knows the trouble I've seen, brothers and sisters. They've seen some trouble, but anyway, I thought they were really colorful. When I mean they had a colorful, the way they talked. I just loved to hear them talk. They knew what they were saying. Let me put this up there. Hope this doesn't sound wrong on the internet. But I love the way they were talking. This fellow right here. We went out one time, and he went out one time. It was an icy morning. Ice was there was ice on the ground on the platform out there. It was freezing. He went out to crank his heister, and he said it won't say now word, and that tickled me to death. We knew what he was talking about. The heister wouldn't crank, but he had a colorful way of putting it. I thought it was just beautiful. I love to listen to my brethren that talk. Incidentally, I believe all these people, all these my co-workers here, were children of grace. They might not have worn it on their sleeve like a lot of people do, but they were God's people, I believe, put there in front of me to show me, to learn me some things, you see, about life, about humility. There's a couple of other brothers over there, and they had a little dressing room there. They come and get dressed. Here's some more here. What they were baling up baling up waste and things like that. I knew all these fellas. Anyway, I showed you when we have fish. That's one of my brothers, one of the nicest men you ever want to meet. Worked down there with me, and I used to carry our fish. That's when I took this. We used to catch a bunch of fish, and I'd carry it out there to him, to his family. And in spite of the poverty that he was born into, one of the kindest men you ever want to meet. Never, he just kept right on trudging through this life. I think he's dead now, but What a wonderful man he was and is. But oh yeah, here's some more right there. That fellow on the left, old timer there, was a wonderful man. We used to clean out the dust house at the bottom of the mill. All the dust would go to the bottom of the mill. We'd go in this godforsaken place. It was just dust. We didn't. I didn't even wear much. I just pulled my shirt up over my mouth, and I'd help him. One time we were cleaning out this place where they had pancake suppers. They'd have pancake suppers for the town. It was kind of a charity thing that the mill did. And that place was full of what was left over from pancakes. And we cleaned this big. We cleaned out this place where they throw all the trash. It was a square thing, a concrete block, but it was just they filled it up with trash. We had to clean it out and throw it up on the dump truck. He was with me, and we got down to the left. We had these big forks where you scoop with these forks. We got down to the last little bit. Didn't see no rats. I threw that fork into that last pile of pancake leftovers to throw it up on the truck, and out comes this rat, big as a cat, jumps up and jumps up in my face almost. He was cornered. Jumped up on his hind leg. He was big as a cat, huge rat. And I throwed that rake up, and what I did, I caught the rat and threw him up in the air too, and it ran across his feet. And you talking about scattering. But anyway, that rat got loose and ran back up under the mill. But it was a big one. But anyway, just want to get on here and reminisce a little bit about some of my friends down at the cotton mill. It's all gone now. Many of them are all gone. Yeah, I knew that fellow right there. He made the size for the starch for the cloth, where they could weave it better. He would mix it up. But anyway, right now I just didn't feel like I felt like looking back and seeing how far God has brought this old sinner down the road. And sometimes I like to do that. There's a memory behind everything that happened. Incidentally, I'd like to tell this story. It's a testimony to what happened to me down there at this cotton mill. Talking about somebody that, talking about things that happen to you that let you know that there is a God. Anyway, I was driving a truck. We had this truck that was not it was a dump truck, but every day we'd go and get gas, and we'd have to go up under this, well, it was a bridge that went over, it was a drawbridge that went over, and you went under the drawbridge, but all our trucks were low enough that we could, they'd go under this drawbridge. We'd go over there to get gas every day and gas up. And we didn't think nothing about it. We didn't have to draw the drawbridge. So, but anyway, what happened was I was sent over to the big service center over there to get one of these big tall trucks and borrow it. And when I left, the man said, "Now y'all take good care of that truck now." I said, "I sure will take good care of that truck." And it was a high top, where it's covered, where it wouldn't rain on the yarn when I bring it back from Columbus. Well, what happened was I had it stuck in my mind. I had a pattern there. I'd go get gas, and I'd have to go on that drawbridge. Never did worry about the drawbridge because we cleared that drawbridge. Well, I went through with that truck. It was just automatic. I went to get gas. Forgot that I was in that truck. Ran into the drawbridge. Took the top off of the, halfway down, took the top off of that thing like you peel it back a sardine can. I got out. slammed the door, and by that time the whole mill was gawking. They looked out the window and they were gawking, you know. and I was so upset and so hurt with God. I left, walked out to my car, got in my car, went and tied on the drunk like I was talking about. I went and got drunk. and I quit. I was through. and you always figure you're through when you just walk off. You don't report nothing. You just walk off and leave the keys in the truck and walk off and say, okay, I'm done with this job. Well, later on that night, I get a call from my boss. He says, where you at? He was so kind. Come on back tomorrow. Well, anyway, long story short, I worked the rest of my career at these cotton mills, the rest of my life, really, up until they all closed down. Anyway, so I went back. He put me in another truck. Next day, I went and did what I was supposed to do the day before. But I went and got gas out at the front of the mill where there wasn't no drawbridge. And, you know, it's a funny thing that later on, down the year, maybe 20 years later, there was a truck driver. We were working in another mill, and he did the same thing. Down in Columbus, went through and caught the top of a bridge and tore the top off the truck. And I was able to sympathize with him, you know. He felt like a dunce, you know. He brought that truck back, and it didn't have a top on it. The top was laying in the floorboard. But anyway, I had done this. I told him I had done the same thing. I was able to console him. But anyway, I don't know why I'm getting on here reminiscing. But peace and love out there, brothers and sisters. Things happen in this life, and they're just there to make you better. Peace and love, Miss Old Boy, down here in Alabama.